だから、
ザ・ベンザっていうドラマだから、ベンザの話ではあるけど。
Then now.
Okay.
Okay, then we start.
Well, thank you, Zoom. That was very helpful. Got it.
Hello, everyone. This is Alex Hormigo, and today I have the honor to talk with Chris McCombs. He's an actor, model, singer, producer, director, writer. Anyway, anything you can imagine. Hi,
It's
Chris.
so strange to hear you call me by my full name because we're such good friends. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever called me anything other than Chris before.
That's true, Chris. Yeah. So yeah, for everyone, you're Chris. It's Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I miss you. I've already said this to you twice, but I miss you so much.
Oh, I miss you too, and especially, you're such an angel. You were also an angel in my life when I was in Japan. Not only for me, probably for a lot of people, because you help a lot of people in the field, like acting and all the arts. And I really admire you for all the things that you have achieved. And actually, today I would like to start talking about Tokyo Cowboys. How was
Sure.
this idea started, and what it is, Tokyo Cowboys?
All right. I'll start with the explanation of what Tokyo Cowboys is, and then I'll double back and tell you all the hot gossip on how it came to be. But Tokyo Cowboys is a volunteer production company that's based in Tokyo, Japan. And basically, there's two qualifications to join us. One, you have to already be an established professional in the industry. Like, for example, we have a director who is quite established in news, but he wanted to get experience making dramatic content. And we have a sound guy that wanted to get experience in sound editing. So you have to have a professional resume, a professional career, but you don't necessarily have to perform within your designated profession. So we get a lot of people that join us that want to try something new. And then the second point is ambition. Like, I think, and you know, just as well as I do with all of your experiences working with short films and whatnot, that it's very easy to make something, but the question is what comes after that. It's not enough to just create. You have to promote, you have to submit, you have to see to it that it actually gets viewed by people. Or, I mean, does it matter? If no one ever sees the work, does it count? So yeah, those are the two qualifications that we look for in people that we let join us. And in a nutshell, Tokyo Cowboys began with our dear friend Camilla and I. Have you heard this story before? I mean, have we ever talked about this?
No, actually not. When I met you, you already were working in this project. It was like, okay, we are like, it was like 5 people or something. And
Yeah.
we were discussing about all the projects that you had in mind.
We have to explain Camilla, right? Like, Camilla is a goddess. She is an enigma. Camilla, she is so beautiful inside and out. She's like a fairy Swedish princess.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like,
you're completely right. Yeah.
yeah. And like, she's one of those impossible people that, like, everything she does is beautiful. If she sneezes, it's beautiful. I mean, she would never burp, never. But if she did, it would be the most beautiful thing. But beauty comes at a cost, and I know that I think I don't know. There's perhaps people that think the more beautiful you are, the easier existence gets, but that's not true at all. You know, people often would look at her and think she was mean or just sort of an icy queen, or, you know, they would dismiss her because of the beauty. And she's actually an intellectual force, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and super spiritual as well.
Yeah. So she'd come here as a model a few years before me. And when we'd first met, she was my sort of, I don't know, advisor. Like, I would bounce a lot of things off of her. But I'd had more experience as an actor than she'd had. So when she'd have acting auditions, she'd come to me for advice or to run lines. And there was a very large movie role that she was up for. And she'd made it to the 3rd and final audition, and the director was quite rude to her. I mean, we'd have to ask her. I'd love to call her and ask her. But the director said something like, you know, you're like a porcelain doll. Give up. Like, you will never be an actress. You know, Essentially it was just they won't see beyond your beauty. Fuck you. What a horrible, terrible thing to say to another human being.
I know sometimes like people in this industry is quite harsh all the time.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know. They don't think what they say, and they just hurt.
Yeah, she is a complex, deep character, Camilla, and I think she brings a lot to the table as an actress. So she came to me with that story, and you know me, like I'm so full of like rage, and I always have a plan. And I said to her, like, no, we're gonna get scripts and we're gonna practice in the park, and we're gonna do a script every week, and we're gonna get better together. And after about 2 months of this, we decided to finally start shooting them. You know, if we're putting all the effort into learning these parts, we might as well pick one up as a short film. And we started reaching out to the people around us. And as it turns out, there were an awful lot of people who just weren't satisfied with what they had in entertainment. You know, people naturally want more. So, something that just started off as practice in the park turned into a television show that's in 130 countries.
And what inspired you? Like it was besides of people, or it was also maybe your dream of creating things? Because you're also a very creative person. You know, like get everybody together. Because also that's something special that I always when someone asks me about Chris or Tokyo Cowboys, I'm always saying like, oh yeah, I started with this. Working with this friend that he's so just creative, and he has this enigmatic energy, I could say that attracts people. And then if he says like let's jump, like people were like, okay, let's jump together. So something like I don't know, but it's something that you have. I think it's a natural talent, and I think it should be recognized. And it's been now several years of work, and then you've been doing short films, also a YouTube series that I also had the opportunity to work. I remember my English was really bad in that time.
No,
but you were so I don't know, keen to give me the opportunity, and like, okay, Alex, you want to do it? Come. And then I had this role with it, and I had so much fun. And I was just thinking how much work you did, and because also you got locations, and you know, like everybody with their equipment, and it was so professional. Everything started to work. Like suddenly you had short films in film festivals. You're working with Amazon, creating like this crazy series that is like now 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
We did 2 seasons, a spin-off series, and you know, now we're working on the video game version for Nintendo, which is the current big time-consuming. I don't want to call it a problem because it's not a problem, but you know what I mean. Like it's this massive, big step out of my comfort zone. Like, you know, making a video game is something totally different, and I have no idea what is happening.
You never stop.
Never.
You just get like, and you're so one of the most multi-talented people that I have ever met in my life. Like, I'm sure that right now you can manage anything like in the industry. Where all this inspiration comes from?
I started performing in a theater troupe when I was 15. And the truth about the industry is that most people are not going to make it. There is one person other than me who's left from the theater troupe that's even marginally working in the industry, and you know, she was fortunate enough to get a role as a writer, as a script writer, which is amazing in itself. But everyone else is gone. They couldn't do it. I don't know, they got injured, they got pregnant, their desires changed. But the longer you perform in entertainment, the more you lose people, and someone has to take all of those people, their passion, their dreams with them for those people, and try to go as far as they can with it. And so I'm always really mindful of that, like the people who I met along the way who just couldn't continue, the directors and the teachers that I've had that have invested in me. That time has to be respected.
Did you imagine that it was gonna go that far away, that further?
No. Like when we first started, I mean, we were renting a 20-seat theater, and we would have like 2 screenings, and if 40 people came, we were like, we did it, yay. 40 people saw this, we changed the world. But now, like, the premiere of season 2, we rented a 500-seat theater, and it's like suits and gowns, and it was like there was representatives from NHK, TV Asahi, TBS, someone from Disney showed up. Like, so much has changed. There's so much stuff that's gotten much, much larger than I ever could have comprehended. So, you know, I'm very, very grateful for all of the opportunities that it's presented. But, like, you know, there's days where it's like I wake up and you know, because the Benza's in 130 countries. Some of these countries I've never even heard of them, like the Southern Sandwich Georgia Islands. Did I say that right? I mean, I Googled the name of the country and just penguins show up. So there's an island full of penguins that are watching my TV show. And one of those penguins had a complaint with the amount of exposure of one of the characters' cleavage. So I have to try to do something to please these penguins. What is happening? Just for an example, Alex, like, I did not understand that there were so many variations of the Spanish language, right? So when Amazon said, like, you know, please prepare Spanish subtitles, I was like, got it, I'll get Spanish subtitles. And then they were like, which Spanish is this? And I was like, Spanish?
Spanish, yeah.
Spanish?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I was so humiliated and humbled by the localization experience, because there's just so much access that we have now, and as a result, it really forced me to realize that I know nothing about international distribution. I know nothing about marketing in Europe. I know nothing about Spanish.
How Tokyo Cowboys take these challenges that are, like, you know, paths that you don't know, maybe?
Well, it's the same way we've handled any other challenge from the beginning. Like, we are first and foremost a team. You know, that's why we're not called Christopher McCombs, right? There's a reason why we've kept Tokyo Cowboys. Everyone brings something to the table, and it's all about figuring out how to utilize everyone, including my own strengths. And there, as you know, there are times I will defer, right? Like, when I don't know what to do, I defer to you, or I defer to other friends who have experiences in other countries. That's how we've made it this far. And everyone's got their experiences. Like, for example, Haku Inko, who plays Inko Sensei in the Benza, her background is as a Gravia model, which is like a swimsuit model in Japan. And it's, you know, it's loosely affiliated with the adult video industry.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to be dismissive, you can say that's porn, that's not useful. Bullshit, that's not useful. That's incredibly useful. Yeah. She is an expert at marketing. She's an expert at social media.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, her greatest strength, like, people dismiss her. They ignore her. And while she's being ignored, she's taking notes. She's studying. You know, she's learning people's weaknesses. Yeah. Our team is full of people like that. I mean, you too, my dear friend, you came in and you really helped us change our game a lot. You were one of the most fundamental people, and I would say stage 2 of Tokyo Cowboys, saying, like, you could be submitting to a lot of film festivals. You know you need to submit to film festivals, right? And we were like, what?
Like, what? Yes. Well, anyway. But tell me, how many productions do you have?
Well, so the first we did was Bill and Betty. That was Camilla and I, and it was the only script that we've done that I didn't write. Then No Perobo was a horror film based on a Japanese legend.
Didn't have face.
Yeah. No Face. From there, we did Till Death, which is a murder mystery. Musical.
We're singing and, like,
the pink hair and everything. After that, we did another horror short called Jiki Ninki, which is about a ghost that eats your entire existence. Like, if you get killed by it, people forget you were ever alive. After that, we did a LGBT short called The Actor and the Model. That was such a tough shoot too. I mean, like, it was really intimate. I remember at one point I just started crying in the middle of the acting, and we learned a lot from that film, and the success that we had at film festivals from it. After that, we did an omnibus called The Wheel, and this is when we started really learning about mistakes that we had made in this timeline. It was after The Wheel that we really changed our approach to what we were doing. Up until The Wheel, like if you notice, we made a horror film, then we made a musical mystery, then we made a horror film, then we made a very serious LGBT short. But in doing that, we would alienate the allies that we had just made. Like, for example, when we made the horror short, No Perobo, we had a lot of success with festivals, but none of them, because they were horror festivals, would be interested in a comedy murder mystery musical.
True.
Right? It doesn't work. So we alienated all these allies. And then when we went back and made another horror film, we in turn alienated all the allies that we'd made with Till Death. So it was about The Wheel, the omnibus, where we were really like, okay, we need to regroup and we need to focus. Like, what are we making as a team? And The Wheel, we had, I think, like 7 different directors, each making a short within it. Horrible. Never ever do that, Alex. It was terrible. It was the worst idea I've ever had. Miserable experience.
But it's like all the stories were connected, right? Everything was happening in this park, and
But these directors were not all connected. Their connection was me, and it was hellish. Send this video to each and every one of them for making my life miserable for 9 months of hell. This is sort of a phenomenon in Japan. I'd worked professionally in America from 15, I think, until 28, and then I came here, and I've been here for 12 years. So I have the benefit of both sides of the picture, but most Japanese productions don't have a full team. The director edits, the director writes, the director directs. It's too much power in one person's hands, and they start to lose perspective. You know, they don't see obvious problems because they're so caught up in their own work. And a lot of, especially indie directors, don't have a producer at all. So that whole producer concept of seeing the journey through from start to finish and you know, making sure that there's always a plan, most directors don't have that. So when I brought in 7 directors that were not used to working with a producer, oh my hellish God, like they wouldn't adhere to an editing schedule. They would get the work done when they felt like getting the work done, and they wouldn't adhere to a sound editing level. So we had to, at the end, collect all the sound data from everybody and hire one sound engineer to make it all work. Like, these people, there was no harmony between these directors at all. Hell, I mean, 2 of the directors wound up having an affair in the middle of the goddamn shoot. Yeah, we're doing it. Alex, send it to them. I mean, like, it was awful. And then 2 of them quite clearly had not ever worked with a producer before. And so it was very difficult defining roles to them because they completely were not used to what a producer does, and they felt like they were being overstepped. But it's like, no, this is normal. Like, absolutely normal things are going on here.
How long did it take to shoot that film?
Well, so we were shooting it all on a Ferris wheel in Odaiba, which meant we had a lot of permitting issues and sessions with Odaiba itself. Odaiba is like a massive shopping tourist resort area, and they are incredibly difficult to work with. So it took us collectively 9 months to shoot, I think, 8 episodes. Is basically they wouldn't give us more than 1 permit a month to shoot on the Ferris wheel.
Ah, okay. But just for shooting, okay.
Yeah. So we'd shoot 1, and then we would kind of regroup, see where we were at, and then shoot the next one. And the good thing is, like, from that, we really learned about a long-term plan, sticking to the plan, and serialized entertainment. So a lot of the stuff that we learned from our mistakes in the wheel, we have applied to the Benza, and that's how it's been able to be this long-lasting.
So the Benza was the next project.
Yes. So we originally made the Benza as a short film, and it was just kind of a weird point in my life. Like people in entertainment rarely like success, especially here in Tokyo. It's a very odd market, isn't it? Here.
Yeah, it is, and also I guess maybe full of jealousy, I would say, and
Yes.
envy as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I understand, like, probably no. Well, I don't understand. Like, I don't really like those kind of feelings. I think it's really negative.
No.
If someone feels it, you should take them out from your body, and because I guess when you do things with love, you receive things with love, and then if you it's like you, for example, you support people, you give them the chance, you push them, and then it's like that. It's a chain. Like if someone is in a positive way, then continue with that, and then if this person has success, then you will have success. So then it's like, oh, he's shining, okay, let's drag him down. So no.
It's so strange. Like, one of the things I've never understood about Tokyo is there is enough work to go around, right? Like, there are so many opportunities here.
And opportunities, and for everyone. True.
Right. And like, since I think for you, and part of why you and I got along immediately, like, we both had experiences in our respective countries before we came here to appreciate the good points of this market. But like in Los Angeles or Las Vegas, there is not enough work to go around for everybody. You wait for hours just for an audition, right? Like,
I've heard that. I have never tried there.
Well, I mean, there's problems with this market too. We'll come back to that, I'm sure. But like, as far as just getting on camera, right? Like, if you want to work as an extra, or if you just want to get some experience in the industry, there are certainly a lot more opportunities here than there are in Los Angeles or Las Vegas. And it's a lot easier to get them. Maybe they're not great. Maybe they're not even good, but they're certainly on-camera experiences. I think with the actor and the model, I won like a really big award from Taiwan. And someone had said to me something like, well, if I took my shirt off and cried about being gay, I could win an award too. Like, it was the most like evil, hateful, remote, like kind of homophobic. Like, the whole thing was so shocking. And the worst part is, like, it wasn't a joke, and it was someone I still see, like, at work. And I was really out for blood. Like, fuck you. I'm gonna prove a point. I'm gonna write the stupidest comedy I can think of. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a comedy about a broken toilet seat and two foreigners who try to fix it, and I'm gonna win an award for that. And then you can shut the fuck up. Can I say fuck here, Alex? Are we okay with that?
Yeah, you can do it. There's no problem.
We're friends.
Profitable, so it's just like
you can beep it out later. I don't care. But at the same time, Kyle Card, who is my co-lead in the Benza, he did a really great job in a dramatic scene until death, and I had won an award for that as well. And I really wanted to write something that was much more in his area of specialty, which is comedy. He is a brilliant comedian, much better than me at comedy. So that's how the Benza came to be. I really wanted to show someone, like, quite specifically one person, like, no, this wasn't a fluke. It wasn't because I took my nipples out and cried that I won an award. Like, it takes a lot more than that. When you think about the statistics for Best Actor, usually for an A-rank festival, there's like, in some cases, thousands of submissions. And then in each piece of work, there's 2 or 3 actors who could be considered a lead, many more for supporting. So you start thinking that's thousands of people.
And regularly, prices goes for more like drama films than comedy. Comedy is hard, actually. People think that it's easy, but it's one of the hardest things, like, to be funny.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, the dramatic pieces always stand out over the comedic ones. And I agree with you, Alex, especially in a foreign language. It's a lot harder to be funny. Tokyo Cowboys is, I would say, 2/3 Japanese and 1/3 people from other countries that are here working professionally. And we really wanted to make a comedy that everyone could laugh at and not feel like they were being victimized or made fun of. So there's like a lot of I would say taking turns, where there's a scene where foreigners are having the laugh, and then there's scenes where we're all laughing together, and then there's scenes where Japanese people get the laugh. And I think that's part of what made the Benza work. There's an appeal there to everyone. There's something for everyone to laugh at.
So it's three seasons of the Benza. The first one is the Benza one.
Yes. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle of submitting the short film, we ran into someone who was a representative from KT Mobile in Korea, and they had said, this is ridiculous. Like, if you can make this into a series, we will absolutely stream it for you. Like, this is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. And in this age, like, there are, I think, ample opportunities for offers from on-demand sites. And especially now in 2022, there's so many more on-demand sites than there were 4 years ago even. But they're not going to offer you financial support to do it. For the most, even large-scale offers like Netflix, they expect you to get your own funding, your own sponsorship. You put the project together, and then we'll distribute it for you. That's the basic low-end deal. Like, when you're not a surefire hit, you got to make it. So we loved making the short film so much, and we had said on the set, like, if there was a way to continue this, we would, and we all unanimously decided to do it. So we each member of the main cast and key staff put forward about $1,000, and that was the base for the production for our series 1. And first we started off with one country, somewhere in the middle with KT Mobile. We'd realized it was not an exclusive contract, and so we did some research about who would be good, and we found out that Amazon Prime was really aggressively collecting independent properties. So we started off just in Japan with Amazon Prime, and then that led to 5 countries, and then 9, and then we went from 9 to 130.
Wow.
Over the course of a month at that. It was like, okay, we're upping your distribution to 30, now 70, now 130. And at that point, Sandwich, Georgia islands and penguins and shit. Like, when it first, the big expansion happened, like, for example, in, I think Spain and Italy both, there were major news outlets that reviewed us, like really kind of famous entertainment sites. And it was quite scary. Like, they don't understand who we are or what's happening. Just there's a new TV show from Japan in their language, so they're covering it. But what I felt very grateful for is that they recognized what was happening without even needing the backstory. They were like, okay, this is clearly low budget, but clearly something new is happening here. And it's exciting to see something so unusual come out of Japan, and something so culturally diverse coming out of Japan. So that sort of unified stance to support us, even from the professional entertainment community, was quite shocking and heartwarming. And then there's the internet and all of the hateful, evil, terrible people on it. I have a sort of policy about the Benza, and you can say whatever it is you want about the Benza. I can't stop you, but you can't stop me from having my say. I read every single comment about the Benza. I will read your comment about the Benza. It does not matter what language it is in. I will find someone that will translate my reply to you. So you can have your say, but I will have mine too. That's the beauty of the internet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, my dear friend, no matter what you write about the Benza, the first thing I say is thank you for watching. I got really, really busy. Like, it's not easy producing a TV show for one country, and then suddenly it was on such a large scale. And I realized I needed a chance to take a step back to get used to everything. And at the same time, there was one scene in episode 4 of series 1 that's popular in every country, and it's this crazy English language show that teaches ridiculous, not useful English phrases like "follow me and I'll cut your balls off," or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes completely sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the character, the actress's name is Kaori Ikeda. Actually, Kaori is who I had a meeting with before this. She's just brilliant. Like, she's everything you'd want in a lead actress. Like, she has this natural classic Hollywood thing about her that she just brings elegance and grace and a bit of mystery to everything she does. She's the flight attendant in the safety video for Japan Airlines. I don't know what she's doing in a TV show called The Toilet Seat, but you know, it's the same as the rest of us. Like, she wanted something more. She wanted a chance to do some comedy. All I care about are two things: professionalism and talent. Are you professional and are you talented? Great. Then let's do something amazing together. Well, Kaori, she's all those things. She's professional and she is talented, and she wanted something more. So we decided to do the spin-off so that I could put the focus on her and her character's world and take a step back and focus more on getting used to, all right, what does it mean to have a show at this size and this scale? Like, what do I need to know more about, and you know, what are the complications that are going to come as a result of this? So it really worked out great. We got a chance to shine a light on some of the smaller characters and really build the world up. So moving into series 2, we had a really great idea about what this world was and who all of our characters were. We're finished. So series 2 of the Benza, it goes the Benza series 1, Benza English, which is the English language show. And now the Benza series 2. We're about 1 week away from the full series being streaming in Japan. And then I would say by April, the series should be viewable. We're using a service called Plex, I think, it's like 190 territories that it's available in. So the whole series will be viewable on Plex for sure. Yeah, so the second series is direct continuation of the first series, and it answers a lot of questions and sets up the final third series, which we'll be shooting next year. I think entertainment really tricks you into thinking you're on your own, that your experience is a lonely one and you have to suffer through it, but that's not true. I'm so grateful I started off in a theater troupe, and I learned from the beginning, this is a team sport, right? You cannot do this on your own.
True.
It's very tricky to navigate on your own.
Yeah.
And I was just fortunate enough to have that beginning, that foundation that really taught me, like, no, you can't do this on your own. You've got to have friends. You've got to have allies, a team.
But it's also because you're a good person. Like, I mean, it's just you get what you give. So that's
so true. I think that's very true in entertainment too. Like, you only get what you give in entertainment. So you've got to be ready to give a bit if you want to get.
Okay,
Alex.
Yes.
So, like, speaking of experience, and you know, I'm sure your viewers are gonna love this story, but like, do you remember that the gay magazine that came to my house? I can't call it an LGBT magazine because they really only focus on gay lifestyle.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of like roped you into being in the photo shoot with me. Do you remember?
Yeah, they were taking photos, and then I remember.
Yeah. Like, it was about the actor and the model, and you know, the LGBT short, and like, they were really interested in the story and the fact that, you know, in Japan there's not a lot of, and there still isn't a tremendous amount of openly LGBT representation in entertainment, and I just don't have the free time to care. Like, it's so exhausting to care about that, like, of all things to care about, but like, something about this magazine like really scared me. Like, it intimidated me to do it on my own. And so I called you and I was like, hi, Alex. Listen, would you mind coming?
Like, yes, of course, let's go. Yeah. No, but it was so fun, actually. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
So, and like, I remember, like, the writer and the cameraman, he's kind of a famous cameraman too. They were negotiating with me about how much of my clothes I would be willing to take off. And I just remember being like, Alex, don't go anywhere. I'm really like, I'm so nervous. Like,
they wanted to have you naked in your living room.
Yeah. And I remember, like, they were like, okay, we'll keep your pants on, but your shirt off, and you'll have a book. And I just remember thinking, like, wait, what? what's the book for? Like to look intellectually naked? Like
intellectual but sexy. Like
yeah. So I was because like Japanese entertainment is conservative, and sponsors have I don't know if sponsors have more power in America or here. It's really hard to say, but I would be willing to bet here because of how traditional and how conservative it is here. But I was trying really hard to like cover my nipples with the book.
I mean, probably you were lucky enough that they didn't put this kind of, because they use these things, no, like kind of like to make it blurry.
The mosaic, yeah, which is so strange. Like, okay, everyone, we've all got nipples, we've all got.
I don't know what they think. Probably they visualize them, but it's just something normal. It's part of your body, so it shouldn't be that. Yeah.
Oh, I remember like they then wanted to do like a really like a meeting like picture, like you and I were having a super serious business meeting. So it was like discussing how much nipples was appropriate to this like fake business picture of you and me. Yeah.
Did you receive the copy of the magazine, right? I remember I saw.
Oh yeah. I'll try to find the pictures so that you can like put them on the screen while we're talking about this. But they like, so this is such a dumb story, but getting a Wikipedia page in English is like really, really difficult, and it gets more and more difficult as time goes on. And I remember the person who is making my page for me, they were like, I need every reference that you can possibly come up with. And I was like, well, there's this one like gay magazine interview I did, and they were like, perfect, yeah, we'll take that. So that's like in my English Wikipedia, like a reference link to that magazine.
The nipples and the book.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Both of us together, yeah.
Yeah. So
tell me about the game. Like how's it? Because I have seen some of the photos, but you have an app.
Oh yeah.
Which is called the Benza game.
Yeah, it's called the Benza RPG. And we have like an RPG parody sequence in episode 2 of series 1. And the gentleman who designed that for us, we'd met him just at a film festival, and he'd said to me like, I have nothing to offer you, but if you ever want a video game. And I'm a very dangerous person to say something like that to, because I store all that. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun making that scene, and the Benza, like the world itself, takes a lot of tropes from RPGs. And he had said that to me, like this could become an RPG so easily, a real one. And I would say 6 months later, we started working on the game. And our goal was always Nintendo. Like we always wanted to be on the Switch. And Nintendo is very secretive about their policies for acceptance and declining. They don't give you reasons either way. So it's a lot of speculation, but I'm a researcher. Like I fundamentally believe you need to take the luck out of entertainment and lean into data and facts as much as you can. And we saw that most indie games Nintendo was picking up, they were available on Steam for Mac and for PC, on Android and iOS. So yeah, we started working with that in mind, and we got the acceptance from Nintendo about 2 months ago that they were going to license the Benza RPG. Oh, wow. So yeah, this is insane. Like,
yeah,
thank you. Look, Alex, like, you know me, it's really hard to surprise me. I take things very much in stride.
I'm thinking actually right now, like with all these things that you're telling, but you look so just like, I don't want to say like no feelings, because I know that you're a very emotional person, but
oh yeah,
like, oh yeah, you just talk like normal. Oh yeah, I sign up with Nintendo. Yeah, or this like something regular and normal that just happens every day.
Yeah,
like okay, yeah.
But like it's my everyday existence, right? Like Nintendo didn't just happen. I've worked very hard for a year to make it happen every day, every single day. So it feels natural because there was a process. But I'll tell you, my dear friend, the day Nintendo sent their acceptance letter, my jaw dropped. I mean, it's the most shocking thing that's happened in Tokyo Cowboys history. The whole thing. Like,
imagine, I mean, Nintendo is just, yeah.
It's Nintendo. Like, it's not like Blintendo, the Nintendo for indie games. It's just Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, we have this absolutely insane, unprecedented opportunity to cross market with Nintendo for our show. And I don't know why Nintendo said yes to this crazy, sexy comedy RPG. But I can only say that it's a retro RPG that has the voice acting from every single member of our cast in it. It's got 40 original songs at this point, and I think almost 400 lines of original dialogue. And I wrote over 300 pages of story for this video game.
That sounds like a lot of job. I'm like a lot of work. Sorry, not sure.
Yeah, well, it certainly was a lot of job and a lot of work. I mean, you're right. I'm not a video game creator, but this has been like a childhood dream come true. I mean, it's Nintendo, man.
Yeah. I know, like, also that you also love video games, so it's
love them. So it's we live in this world where entertainment has so many different definitions now, right? Like from a YouTube video all the way over to these epic video games they're creating. It's all under the same umbrella of entertainment. So it feels very natural right now to do something like this. Why can't a television show have a spin-off video game like they did in the 80s? Why not? Why can't a short film become a video game? Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, everything is possible.
Yeah. So, you know, the largest lesson I've learned from Tokyo Cowboys and the Benza especially is to just be hopeful, right? Don't shut yourself down, stay open to opportunities and stay loose. And who knows, you'll wind up with a video game on Nintendo and the show in the southern Georgia Sandwich Islands. Like, why not?
The world so normally, like something like I ate a sandwich. Yeah. Not just like Chris, but thank you so much for sharing a lot about the Tokyo Cowboys and for sharing this interview with me.
Well, thank you for being a part of our history, Alex. I mean, you really did help us move into the next phase of Tokyo Cowboys. And without you, I don't think I would have been able to think as big as I do now. So you're an important part of our history too.
One thing I am also, really inspired by you, because it's just, you're one of the persons that I can say that you are an example of what you think is what you can achieve. So it's like the only limit is yourself. And so it's just put all your heart and your love and be positive, and then you will do great.
Well, thank you. I love you too.
Yeah, I love you too. But thank you so much. Sending you a big hug, and
thank you.
thank you for this interview.
Anytime.